CNBC's got some new survey data that just reveals how many people are using and paying for AI platforms. I'm one of them, Steve Leisman. How many folks are doing this?
I'll get to that in a second, Andrew, and I got a question for you at the end of all this. But the overall, Americans remain largely uncomfortable with artificial intelligence, but they're still using it in, I'll tease it, surprising numbers. 68% of the public in our nationwide survey of 1,000 say they're uncomfortable with AI, 31% comfortable. That's up 4 points from when we asked the question last in 2023, showing at least some progress. Just 1% say they're not sure. I found that interesting because it tells me average Americans have an opinion on this issue and they are aware of AI being out there. The lack of comfort stems perhaps in part from worries about what it means for jobs. 72% say or are concerned it will eliminate jobs overall, compared with just 7% who think it will create jobs, 18% seeing no effect. Despite these fears, here's your answer, Andrew, Americans have not shied away from using AI. 53% of the public say they have used it in the past 2 or 3 months. 46% saying they have not. That's a pretty big number, I would say, showing the nation may be divided politically, but it's equally divided by use of this new technology. Take a look here. 81% of salary workers say they have used it, just 56% for hourly. 73% for 18 to 34-year-olds, just 25% of those who are 65 and older. Your income's over 100, 71%. Below 30,000, just 27%. Democrats 60, GOP 50. Not a big split right there. While the overall comfort level hasn't changed much, opinions about AI's usefulness have improved. 32% say now it makes their jobs easier, up from 21% in 2023. And that includes 45% of AI users who say it helps their work. 14% think it will replace them at their jobs, down from 18% 2 years ago. All right. Just how useful do Americans think it is? Is it useful enough to pay for it? Well, 10% say they're currently paying for it. That makes Andrew 1 out of 10. Another 15% say they'd consider paying for it. And right now, 74% say no. But the percentage jumps of those who would consider or are paying for it to 37% for those who use AI. So the revenue stream could increase as more Americans take a turn with the technology. And Andrew, the question I'll throw back to you is, a lot of this, how much revenue or profit comes from all this investment in AI, depends on, is it a customer-facing revenue stream or is it a business-to-business one? And I don't know how much the bulk of the industry is really going to rely upon a revenue stream from individual customers.
It's a good question. I mean, the other question, though, is how many people are paying, for example, for services on Apple, right, or services on Google?
And they get it inclusive, you're saying?
Yeah.
Apple Music, like Steve, we're, as you said, people are dipping their toe here, and I feel a little bit better about how it works, but I'm not at a point where I'm going to start paying. I mean, it's fine. The free version, you're different, though. You definitely want the more powerful. I don't need the more powerful memory version.
Well, you might.
Eventually.
And once you have it, you're like, oh, my God, it's unbelievable.
I can feed all of the data from this survey, or pieces of it at least. It's a lot of data, the whole crosstab file. And I can ask it questions, and it will respond. I mean, an easy question for this AI. I use Perplexity. Andrew's into ChatGPT. I can say, tell me how 18 to 34-year-olds differ from 65-year-olds. I can say, how much to 100,000? And that's the easy stuff, but it will do
you don't pay, do
much
you,
more complicated stuff.
You don't pay yet.
What's
you
that?
Pay yet? You don't pay yet, do you?
I pay.
Oh, you do pay?
Yep, I do.
And it's worth it. You pay Perplexity.
It's incredibly useful for me, Joe.
And it's better than if you don't pay. Okay.
Well, it's better than if I don't pay. I can upload these big data files and ask it questions. And then, of course, I check it and I source it and I cite it. Can I just give you one example? Do you remember when SVB went down, Silicon Valley Bank?
Yeah.
I had a vague recollection in the back of my head that Congress in 2010, because I was around then, changed the law to how the Federal Reserve could guarantee deposits over $250,000. And I couldn't find it in my normal things. That's when I paid for it. I went to Perplexity or whatever, ChatGPT, and I asked it, how did Congress change the law in 2010? It came back with a citation to the law, a legal brief, and a news story that came back 1, 2, 3. And that was obviously an important question at the time. Could the Fed step in? And I used it then, and the way I've used it since then, maybe not as smart as Andrew with it, but I'm getting there, and it helps. And Joe, I thought you would look at this more of like poltergeist, like step into the light. In other words, tell us everything you know, and we'll make it useful for you, and then we'll replace you.
I'm more excited. Andrew right now is working on an app for me.
So I'm building an app. He asked me what kind of app. It's called the Kernan MSM Truth Report, Steve.
Truth Report.
And what it's going to do every morning is it's going to sift through
mainstream
the
media,
big political news in the morning. And as I've asked it to, it's going to add comments on each story about how a conservative might think the story is wrong. I think that would be an app that he could sell.
It's got to basically get rid of 98% of what's generated most days as fact and as news.
I don't know about that. But
I know you're having fun, Andrew, but this really worries me. This idea
you should do
that
it,
people
Steve.
are turning to the chat engine to make judgments and then saying, look, Grok said it's right, or ChatGPT said it's right.
No, you should have
That
you don't need
really
the All-America
bugs me.
Survey anymore. You can write a program that does that for you now, Steve.
Oh, no, Joe, you're missing it. This is the key. So I went to a chat to one of these experts on artificial intelligence, and I said, can it help me search the spreadsheet? And it said, yeah, it can help me search a spreadsheet, but you're pretty good with spreadsheets. What ChatGPT will really do is once you write the article, it'll steal that data and give it back to you very quickly. It's kind of interesting the way the artificial intelligence is much better with the written word than it is with the data. Now, it's obviously useful with the data, but its ability to steal what I've already done, that's where it's really, really good.
Steve, the real question is when it's going to start to prompt us. That's where I think it's the real shift in everything is going to be. Meaning, I was talking to somebody the other day who uses it for dieting, right? And it prompts them throughout the day, now you eat this, now you eat that, now you don't eat. Okay, so that's like, we could agree that maybe that's a reasonable thing to try to do, I guess. I don't know. But once it starts to prompt you in other ways, you should react to this person this way. You should do this instead of that. And whether at some point we become the robots that are prompted by this machine.
Yes, I had an immediate vision when you started talking about that of being in a capsule with a data cable in the back of my head, like in the Matrix. That's what it sounds like to me. Like what's the point? I don't know, Andrew. You've been much more willing over the years to submit your life and your lifestyle to what technology is with the watch around your wrist and stuff like that.
My ring and my this and my that.
You weren't going to travel anymore. You're just going to wear those stupid things on your head. Remember?
Oh, yeah, I was going to wear the Apple.
Right, you don't need to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Positano.
I still play an acoustic guitar and write my own songs, so I'm not willing to put that into...
You don't need to do that. You got a program for that, my friend.
But do me a favor, guys. Could you ask Sam Altman about this data? Does it matter to him that it's only 25%? Or is that a good number, given how early? I know we got this
I think it's an amazing... Steve, I'm thinking he's going to say that's an amazing number. I mean, look, the growth of this thing... He's got 700 million people using it on a weekly basis, up from 500 million 2 months ago. Now, a lot of those people are free, but at some point, if you convert any percentage of these people, that's a business.
I agree. I think that, it depends on when you date this back from, but we started asking this in 2016, then 2023, we started getting really serious about asking it in the survey. And in 2 years, we don't have the data for how people pay for it. But that's pretty good. If you start dating this thing from it went consumer forward in 2023. In 2 years, you got a quarter of the public either saying they are paying for it or will pay for it. That could be pretty fast adoption.